Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm Teri
Right,
at Holding Your Space, and here is Nancy Jean's Garden.
right.
Yay.
She is here.
Yeah,
And
we
you
are
guys
here.
have no idea how close it came to my not being here, but
We both had a few things come up, and let me know if it gets too loud here because my neighbor decided to trim his trees today, too, on top of
well, that's
everything in my
always lovely.
backyard.
Well, you can't blame somebody for keeping their yard up, and then they're next to you. It's even better.
They have this huge house. They live in the house that used to be the farmhouse.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Um,
you're one of those sort of properties? Yeah, we have some of those in Dallas where we
Yeah, it's just massive, and,
Mm-hmm.
3-story, they've taken me through it. They are consummate, auction people. They go to all the auctions,
Mm-hmm.
and the house is like a museum. You know, one room for this, one room for that, and,
Right.
it's really outstanding, but they're always working on it themselves. So, in their 80s and taking care of business. Anyway, hey everybody, thank you for being here. And I just wanted to let everybody know on Deborah Lupin's channel,
Mm-hmm.
um, they are having uh, Psychics for Democracy right now.
Mm-hmm. Right now.
So, yeah, if you guys get a chance, go over there after we're done,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe stop in sometime. And they're raising money, and I think they've got 7,000 or so now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a lot of it you guys got. You
We
started
we were
out.
close to 3,000 when we got off. It was Jeffrey, Sheila, and I, but it was the beginning and everybody kind of tuned in to see what it was. And we had, I think at one point we had over 800 people watching us. They've had a constant thing between when I tuned in to see what's going on between 350 and 500, which is good. And you guys, she deserves all the credit in the world for doing that. She called me right after Kamala was, announced and everything. And I had gone to the comedians for Kamala and gone and watched their thing, and it
Oh,
was great fun. And my Sean, who does the CLSB politics, he'd gone to White Dudes for Kamala. That's when he called me up and he said, "We need to get this Walsh guy to be your VP." And I said, "What's his resume?" And he said, "Well, he's not a lawyer." And I said, "Okay, I'll take him." I mean, as long as I had too many lawyer politicians. So it was great fun to do it. But she asked me what she needed to do to get clearance to raise money for that. So I told her how to get through the political network to where to go and who to talk to, what to do. But that woman's been up 24 hours.
yeah. She and Helen both, I
Yeah,
think.
Helen. Yeah,
Yeah,
Irish Granny.
amazing energy. I mean, I've always liked her. I've never this is the first time I've ever been on anything with her,
with
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 Deborah.
with Deborah. Yeah, it's the first
Mhm.
time I've done anything with Deborah, and I was sort of surprised. She said, "Oh, here's your slot," and I went, "Oh, okay." And then Jeffrey was on there, and I said, "Jeffrey," and he said, "Well, you told me about it, so I wrote her."
That was sweet.
And
Wow. Yeah, everybody that was on there, it was really fun
it
and
was, and
an
you'll
interesting
enjoy
group.
it, and you'll enjoy the readers, and they're all sort of taking the right thing, and they're doing giveaways, and I think she gave away both my gardens when I was on, but I don't know what she finally did with the grid. I'm giving away a grid, and I've never given a grid away before, but anything to bring in the bucks.
Oh, Acadian Proud says the latest is 7,233.43. Just a few threes. That
Mm-hmm.
is awesome. Debbie at Shifting Veils is hot on
Mm-hmm.
her iPad
Mm-hmm.
today. So welcome, welcome. Hey, Water Lily. Um, let's see. Ness says donations pays for meals for volunteers, rally logistics to irritate 45, ads for states, and feather in our cap for our community too.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I got you, Christian. So I am starring everybody's questions
Mm-hmm.
while we do this. So if I look like I'm staring off in outer space, I'm being efficient.
She's actually running her show.
Yeah.
Since
Yeah.
most of us don't have a showrunner.
Oh, Sarah says she watched Nancy and Jeffrey last night and caught Terry's times this morning. We'll catch up on the replay. Oh, Sarah, thank you so much. It was so much fun.
It was. I unfortunately didn't check in the right way, so I couldn't stream it to my audience, which really pissed me off. But
Well,
I was running on empty by the time I set that up yesterday. So
did you see me blip in and out? I'm not sure if it was when you guys were there, but I did that yesterday to stream it to my audience
mm-hmm.
because I hadn't set it up yet. But by the
Mm-hmm.
time I got in there, I could no longer stream. So I don't know if they quit letting people do that.
No, I was the first one, no matter what was going on. When I was on, they were having trouble working the donate button. And they
Oh,
had people giving through YouTube. And what y'all don't understand, those super stickers, we're grateful for whatever we can get. I mean, but YouTube now takes 50% of the super stickers.
yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
and not only that, but it wasn't set up to go to a site. When you give to a campaign, you have to declare who you are. You have to declare whether you're working or retired. You have to declare you're a U.S. citizen. We had people trying to donate into the thing, and if you're outside the U.S., you can't. Now, those people, we said, put it in a super sticker and we'll give it to another organization that supports them,
Yeah.
But there's just so much, trust me, I've run fundraisers, I've run major political things. It's the things about giving money to political campaigns are sort of mind-boggling.
Teresa Hadarian, it is at the Deborah Lupin's channel. It's Akashic Records channel. I
Right.
think that's the name of her channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But if
And
you,
if she's smart, she'll leave that up for 24 hours so that people can just click on it.
yeah, I hope she does. I hope she does. Um, Waterlily says, I enjoy listening to Deborah do mediumship. Yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
she's really talented.
Oh, I loved it when she was doing the founding fathers.
That was joyful to watch, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was really, really good. Annie, I'm looking for your message. I see your question, but I don't know if I have you. Oh, Annie Moore. I do have you. Yeah, you're number 3. You're in. You're in. So, hi, Marianne.
I may be able to get, and I'm not. I can hear you guys. I can't see you. I can snatch off document she sent us the address to donate to. Now I hope you all come back. Okay, I'm going to put it in a post comment.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah.
And if you go to this thing that I just put, this http DeborahLupian.com Psychics for Democracy. If you go to it from the chat, you need to right click when it says let's see, where does it tell you what to do? Okay, if you copy it, if you highlight it and then you right click on it, it'll say it'll let you go right to it. At least in my Android it will, and that will take you to the site where it is. But you need to copy it and then right click it. And I'm setting it and putting it in the chat right now. It's there.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Trump can flee the country. Trump can run away. Somebody put something about Trump running away. I don't think he'd be stupid enough to, because if Israel could go in and find the Hamas's leader and kill him in his bedroom in Iran, where does Trump think he's going to go? If you know anybody who's ever worked in those kind of services, there's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. He can go into Saudi Arabia. Trust me, they'll get in and they'll get out and he'll be gone.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Dr. Gale's here. Hello, Dr. Gale. How are you?
Hi. You can all thank Dr. Gale for me even being here. We were on the phone with her last night. She said, "Why aren't you exhausted? You read 2.5 hours with Scott and then you just read 2 hours." And I said, "Well, I've got some time off. I'm just going to do a quick taping with Jeffrey." And she goes, "No, you have a show." I completely forgotten. So I did it.
Yeah, that was kind. That was kind. Well, let's get started because
Hmm.
we've got 14 questions, and it seems like
That's
we
enough.
always, yeah, that's probably pretty good, you guys. And somebody here is brand new. Barbara Blackwell is double dipping on the phone with the in the iPad.
Hmm.
I love that. Um, let's see. Somebody is new here, and I wanted to get them in. It was Acadian Proud. Yeah, because she's new. Let me
Yeah,
see.
she was on yesterday when we were on.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
There she is. Okay, so
Hmm.
we'll get you in first, Acadian Proud. So, Acadian Proud, any messages from my guides or parents, Clara and Normand? I need some guidance.
Okay.
I love a little guidance.
Do you mind if I read them in my garden? Because I have my garden set up because Jeffrey and I were taping our weeklies.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. And for y'all who don't understand, I work with crystals a lot, and I was commanded by my guides to create a way to use crystals and reading, and then they showed me how to do it. And what we created is the thing you see on your screen now. It's called the garden. It's Oracle Garden. And the outer spaces are chakras, and the inner spaces are positions of things that happen in our lives. And the center is the shamanic fire, water, air, and earth. And the stones I use are body, mind, spirit, grounding, and clarity. And so I'll see if they have a message for you, Arcadian. So you can do whatever you're going to do, Teri.
Okay. Acadian, do they have an anniversary right now? Because they're showing me a big cake with a heart on top. Or do you have an anniversary right now? Because that's what they're bringing in. Your parents, rather. So Clara and Normand, and they're standing behind the cake, like bringing it to you. So I don't know if your mom liked to bake, but they're really coming in with a celebration for you right now. Two sisters' birthdays in September. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because that makes sense because they got two women on either side of the cake. I don't know if you can see those two ladies. They
Mm-hmm.
just have eyeballs and hair, but so that makes a lot of sense. They want you to know that they're always here. There's also something they don't want you to worry about. Like if you've had some worries lately, Acadian, about something that's going on the planet or something, they're like, it's all going to be fine. Your older and younger sister, yeah, yeah, and you're that makes sense because the heart is in the middle, and that's you. So, are you the one that keeps everybody together,
Mm-hmm.
Acadian? It kind of feels that way. That's kind of what they're talking about. Anyway, they want to honor you for being the sweetheart and for holding space for everybody and taking care of them. And they're just saying, don't get worried about the things that are going on right now. You've been dealing with vertigo. Yeah, that could well be an ascension thing, Acadian. So, I mean, definitely go see a doctor. It could be, and you have to deal with their drama. Oh, well, you're going to love this show then, because we're talking about boundaries here too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So set your boundaries and don't worry about it. You don't have to walk in that path. That's not yours unless you want to take it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
go ahead.
their message to you is ground yourself. They have been trying to send you messages, and this is the grounding stone. Is the solar plexus. It's a pyrite, solar plexus and restate. And when that stone shows up in solar plexus, it says burn out your own self doubts that are blocking your power. And restate means you need to really, really, really relook at how this situation is working for you. Rethink so that you're not blinded by fool's gold. And what I just heard from your mom was You think you have to hold them together. It's about time they grew up. And this is coming out of your past. Means past lives are past, and your clarity and your spirit are both in the past. And your spirit says you're missing the transformation that you need to go through. It's almost already happened. You need to get out of this, because all they're doing is pulling you back to who you were instead of letting you become who you're going to be. And your clarity in the past is learn from the lessons you've learned already. You've already been through this with them before, and you got out, and now you've dove back in for some unknown reason. And your mind is in a great position. Your mind's in the water. And this says let go of limitations. Do not let the things that are pulling you back limit you. And that's what your parents want you to know. They want you to be your full grown up self. And don't become tied to false energy of the past. You keep thinking, oh, we need to be a family. We all need to be together. Not if they're pulling you apart.
Yeah, and I'm a middle sister too. I mean, there's 3 sisters and then
I'm
2
the middle one
boys.
too.
Yeah, and it's real easy. You're like the big sister to the younger one, and then you're still taking care of the older one too.
Well, I have nothing left but brothers. And my sister and I ended up being estranged first. I'm now estranged from my 3 brothers that I grew up with. And at first people would say, oh, you need to try to reach out. You need to do this. Well, it'd be lovely because they're millionaires. They could help me a whole lot. But the cost of doing that is to deny who I am.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Acadian says this past visit, I worked at keeping my boundaries. I even drove my car, so I had my own independence.
That kind of stuff's really important.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah. You don't have to make the big meal for every holiday either. That was my thing. After my husband died, I thought, oh, I'm going to make these big meals and have everybody over. And now it's a frozen lasagna and a big Caesar salad from the Italian
You go
cafe.
that far? You go that far?
Yeah, I do. I'm proudly
Well,
doing that for them.
yeah. I tell my kids, you're all old enough to stand up and find the cutlery drawer by yourself. I think.
Oh, I love that. All right, Ness. Question. Weird energy shifts this past week for me. Each mini shift has been a different flavor, tone, but
Mm-hmm.
similar. What is this? What is your read on what is happening to me
Okay,
and for her?
Ness, I can start for you right now. I just finished doing an hour and a half of weekly readings, and this is the things that are going to take us through the next month and through October to the first week of November. And all Jeffrey and I saw was everybody. I'm not surprised to see some of the stones I saw in this reading, let going of limitations, understanding the new future. We're in the middle of a huge transmutation, all of us. And if you fight it, you can fight it and deny it's there, and you will kill your spirit. And it's unlike other times when Jeffrey and I have seen us going through real spiritual trials. This one was so happy and lighthearted and go have a good time. And, you're going to be wonderful. And it's true. It's happening all around you. And you have all of the cosmic wisdom is pouring onto the earth. And all we need to do is reach out and grab it. And,
Yeah.
It's overwhelming for me. I told Jeffrey, today I woke up for the first time in about 6 months feeling like all of me was back. I don't know where I've been, and I'm sure you'll hear about it when I figure it out. But
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? I kind of felt the same way today. I did my morning stint on the democracy, Psychics for Democracy, and then I went over and went for a nice long walk in a huge park in the middle of town, and it's just beautiful. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do every day now. It was beautiful. Ness, on yours, I feel like each mini shift in the different flavor and tone is your awareness opening up. And it's going to be a synchronicity of all your clairs. So it's like you're going to start hearing Yeah, you feel so powerful and grounded, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you're going to start hearing things. You're going to start seeing things if you want to. Don't get worried, anybody. Nobody's going to sneak up behind you if you don't want them to. So, but just know that you're going through this shift. We all are. Yeah, the downloads are so intense right now. So, and we're acclimating. Like, isn't this week a week of acclimating to all the solar flares?
There's so much joy. It's beyond that. It's one of the waves that comes in from these two black holes that are trying to eat each other up on the far end of the universe. We're in one of those where the waves going up. We're going, wow. We're on the right side of the, and we're waking up from a nightmare that started in about 2014, and you can wake up in the morning and not think, oh my God, what horrible thing am I going to find out my country's committed today? And I was such a patriot, so involved in politics that, you know, the last few years have just torn me up. And because there's a big part of me that says, you can't do that. Well, they can do it for a while. It was just, I got to the point where I started to think maybe they won't go away. And then that's kind of when my guides closed me down and said, no, we're not going to let you play in that energy anymore. And that's one of the abusive things about drawing boundaries around news and what you'll expose yourself to.
Yeah. Yeah. The joy that's coming in is really unbelievable. And I love that it's being echoed um, now in the news and everywhere
Mm-hmm.
else. But but it is interesting because now when we listen to the news, we half believe. When we listen to pharma things, we
Mm-hmm.
half believe. And when we see the things at the grocery store, we half believe they're healthy
Mm-hmm.
for us. It's like it's really up to us to create something new.
Well,
So
you draw what you think. So,
yeah, you do. You do. Yeah. Okay, Chris. Hi, girls. I have a question. What is so special about the moon tonight?
oh, it's a new moon, and it's a new moon coming out of a whole set of lunar cycles. I can't explain it to you. Can I hype another reader on your channel? Is that okay?
Yeah, please.
Dorothy Morgan, astrologer. She did a special. You can go to her. That's what she's called, Dorothy Morgan, astrologer. Nothing special. No hyphens, no weird spellings. She's on YouTube. She runs a daily thing, and I think her daily readings are absolute because they're enlightening and they're based on your energy. She doesn't talk politics. She doesn't care where Kamala Harris's moon is. She cares about where the moon is for all of us. And she's an expert on how to work with the 18-month lunar cycle. So if you're interested in finding out about that, she's a great person to follow. And she teaches it in little chunks so you can kind of remember it.
Oh,
She's
wow.
a lot of fun. You
Okay.
should have her come talk on your show one day.
I've been thinking that. I was looking at several of the people that you've had on recently, and I'm going to ask them to come on because you've had some really great speakers on. Um, yeah, Chris, I'm not so aware of astrology except for how it feels, but Ballot Illumination Portal too. I think it's really
Mm-hmm.
on it, and she's got a lot of information on her channel.
Right. And if you think about the new moon's like a little seed. You can't even see it in the sky. It's like a seed. That's where today or tomorrow you should write out a list of things you really feel in your heart you would love to accomplish that you can see yourself accomplishing. Don't write on there, I'm going to become an astronaut, because if you're like me, that you won't fit in the suits. Um, but write things that are things you really want to achieve, and then um, plant that seed on a piece of paper and then leave it alone. You don't have to burn it. You don't have to put it up on your mirror. You don't have to look at it again and come back in a month and see what's happened. Because what happens is between now and the full moon, light comes in and it helps those thoughts and intentions grow. And then what you do on the full moon is you go stand in the light, or you can stand in the light, or you can stand in the middle of your damn living room. Doesn't care. It's the moon, right? And it just and say, I want to thank you for everything you've been able to help me accomplish that moves me towards my goals.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a great time to manifest.
Mm-hmm.
New moon. It is really good. So, yeah, enjoy it, Chris. Okay, next, Christian Martinez. Hi, folks. Great seeing you. Do you see me getting a job in September?
Oh, that's perfect for the garden because it does timing.
Oh,
Tarot
right.
does not do timing.
Mm-mm.
So the way you see timing in the garden is this is winter, spring, summer, fall. So you want to know when will Chris find. I'm going to make it your next job because I have a feeling you have two coming towards you and one's going to be towards the winter, but maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe they'll both show up somewhere. Oh, they're there. You've become aware of something in the summer, and it's still summer until the 21st because I do seasons by the thing. So yeah, I see you. You found something that's been keeping you going, but man, you're going to find what you really want in the fall. All those 4 stones showed up in the fall, so you're going to be good. I think your timing's right, and it's great. It's it's a situation you wanted to be in before, and you didn't get it, and now you have a chance at getting it. So it's probably why you're feeling a little unsure.
Yeah. And I pulled a few cards for you there. Being in the flow, like you're putting out that
Mm-hmm.
energy, you're manifesting it on that. And that is a new moon there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it feels like there was probably a little barrier up, Christian. I'm not sure what it was, but you'll know, like something that the water didn't flow evenly before the energy for it. But you've taken care of that. There's going to be a transformation, and that's the money tree.
Ah, that's the tree you want to see at the end of a job reading.
Yeah, right. So good luck with that. Let us know. Keep us informed. Okay, Christian, thank you for coming. Um, Cece, I would like a message from my guides. Thank you.
Okay, I'll pull that with cards. And I always give the proviso on this one. Um,
Mm-mm.
you don't need us to see for your guides for you. You can sense them. Now you can say, I have an inkling, maybe I'm feeling like it's this, but you may want a little confirmation. But if a reader tells you something that sounds so out of whack about your guides, think about it again. And my thing is, I had guides. I didn't talk to them or anything else. They just sort of ran my life. And when I finally got introduced to them, it's lovely to have them. But they're there to talk to you. But they won't intrude in your life. They won't say, woo, woo, I'm here. So,
No. Yeah, it's a free will planet. So you have to ask for something if you want it.
of course, I think my guides didn't want to talk to me at the end of my first marriage because they didn't want to be participating in any of the chaos I would have caused. Oh, she's meant to, CC, you're meant to be here. Um, you've made some really bad connections with people, and now you're finding your strength. And you're breaking away from this people. And I feel one of them is a male energy or a dominating energy. And the way this one lures you in is they lure you in with emotion, but then they don't deliver. And you're going to have another stronger personality come into your life. So your guides are saying, ditch the King of Cups.
Yeah.
Not to
Wow.
win your life, but
Yeah. Cece says, my guides have changed or presenting themselves differently now.
mm-hmm.
Yep. I think for a lot of us, that's happening right now, Cece, because there's a different flow coming in, a different energy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so this is all about passion and finding your passion.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we get really close to it, like we're on the swing and we'll get really close to it and we'll see it and we're like, reach out for it. And then the gravity takes you back the other way. But but just keeping in mind, like I went on that walk today at a beautiful park, and normally
Mhm.
I go for a walk in my neighborhood that I love my neighborhood, don't get me wrong, but why not go where there's a rose garden and music playing and,
Mhm.
beautiful things. Oh, your husband was very mentally unstable. I'm sorry, honey. Yeah. So that's that swing, right? That
Mhm.
makes a lot of sense then. Um, I get that you've got an adventure coming right now.
Mhm.
So going on an adventure. Are you going to travel, Cece? Maybe go to some water because the seashell is there. So you might want to think about doing something like that, something that brings you a lot of joy. Also, something that you can go to and you can relax and just kind of, this is all
Mhm.
about pondering. So just kind of relax, not have to worry about anything, be taken care of. I started, you want to see whales. Exactly. And there's, whales are so spiritual. I was just talking to Danny Shea about that
Mhm.
today, about how spiritual they are to be in the water and the whales are there and everything. Yeah.
Whales maintain the ley lines under the water that keep the earth connected to itself.
Yeah. Yeah. I would definitely do that. That sounds amazing, Cece. All right. Thank you, Cece. Um, Jackie. Jackie Carrillo. My mom, Rebecca, passed 9823. Oh, that was so recent, honey. I'm sorry. Any messages from her, please and thank you.
Okay.
She has an anniversary coming up.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. And she's just
What?
saying, just wondering if her question was missed. It just got on, Jackie. There's a little delay there. Jackie, she keeps showing me the number 8. Oh, and she passed on the 8. And
Mhm.
she's showing it to me sideways, as what goes around comes around, but
Mhm.
also infinity. Yeah, you're very sad. Yeah, of course, honey. Yeah. It's a hard memory, it's a hard anniversary. Um, she wants you to know that there is there's life on the other side, she's telling me, life.
Mhm.
And she's at it. Like, I think she's got a sister or somebody there, but she's got a friend there that's
Mhm.
they were very like compatriot. They did everything together, this and that and this and that. And so she's in the fold. She's not worried about things. She does come back for you. And she's talking about stroking your cheek. So I don't know if there's some special way that you feel every once in a while, a little stroke there, and it might be on your arm, but I'm thinking it's on the side of your cheek. And she comes in with that energy. So know that she's there and she's there to comfort you.
Mhm. It's weird. I started the first card I pulled was the 8 of Pentacles. So there's your 8 in completing the work. She's telling you that there's time for you to move on, that you're holding back, you're not moving forward. You need to open your heart up to more happiness and let go of the grief. Your head and your heart fight about this all the time. If you laugh or really enjoy something, even if it was something she would want to be there, she's saying, please let go. You don't have to be in charge. And if you see something that's amusing and you realize I would think it's funny, just tell me, hey, mom, ain't that funny? And then move on.
Yeah. Start listening to her too. If she
Mhm.
was funny, if she told jokes, she'll be funny on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Her sister-in-law passed 2 months ago. So that's a lot. That's a lot of growth opportunities.
Hmm.
Um, Jackie. So, the other thing is that I did that really helped me is I made a special place in my house, like a physical place that
Hmm.
was a place that I knew I could go to if I was feeling down. I could go in there, I could watch TV, or I could just um, cry. I could do whatever I wanted to do. And it was my safe place. So if you can, give yourself a safe place. Oh, good. I'm glad. Okay. She does say, yeah, listen to her because she's got funny things coming in for you.
Hmm.
So start noticing it. You'll see a lot of synchronicities when you start looking for those.
She wants you to live your life, not worrying about what isn't part of. Because you living your life, she gave you life so you could live it. She didn't give it you life so you'd sit there and mourn forever.
Yeah. Yeah. Mary Ann, I don't see your question, honey. Would you put it in again? It should be in if you put it on Nancy's channel, but that's just me not being not. It's hard to read and talk and sometimes store
All the
everything.
chat shows up as a chat. It doesn't matter. We're combined.
Yeah, yeah. The readers see all the chat.
What's her name?
Mary Ann.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Liz and Ah. Will I ever be able to do healing work beyond being in this bedroom? Gifts and healing keep coming in.
I don't understand.
She is she's been kind of bedridden
Okay.
and she's a healer and she lives on a small island and she wants to start going outside and doing more, helping other people. So, Liz, they are showing me that you might think you're in this small area, but you're not. Your energy knows no bounds.
What I'm getting is this giant, it just bursts out of that room. I don't see her in a room. I see
Yeah.
you in this giant golden cloud of light that you can send your healing wherever you want it to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Liz, you're already doing the work. You don't have to get out of bed to do it. It would be a boon for you, and I hope you do. You know, but I do get that what you're doing knows no walls, no boundaries. So that energy in you is so strong. All right. Beautiful. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're being very efficient today. Water Lily, any messages from my guides? Hopefully positive. Right? Don't you hate it when when a reader says, and they want you to do this or that?
No, they're giving you the options to do this and that.
Yeah. Thanks, Ness. Got it.
Yeah, she also needs to hear the thing we're going to talk about today. You've been taking some time off and kind of resting so you can go out and do what you really need to do in the world, but it's required you to get rid of some negative people out of your life, people who were stunting you, because every time you got into it with them, it became a battle and it diminished you. So you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Wow. Yeah. Whatever you're doing, Water Lily, it's like prosperity's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all of a sudden you've got a positive outlook. I mean, not that you didn't before, but it feels like you've gone over this hump thing in
Mm-hmm.
harmony. And I feel like a lot of us have like this energy coming with Kamala and joy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now when we look at people that are on the other side of politics from us, we no longer see that it was a problem, that they're just people.
Mm-hmm.
They're just individuals and light beings. We may not agree with what they're doing, but we don't have to hold something in our hearts that's going to hurt. So I don't know if that makes sense or not.
Well, the object in the world is to heal. And, sometimes letting people go and not trying to convince them to go a certain way is the kindest thing you can do, because for you and for them.
Yeah, that's so true. Um, One of my therapists once, I loved what she showed me. She showed me like a, you know, when you're shooting and there's that shooting range and there's the inner circle and the friends that you keep in that inner circle and then the circle around it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's perfectly natural for people to move from the outer circle to the inner circle to the middle circle. And sometimes there will be friends that will figure out they're going to have to be out here on the outer circle for a little while until I feel comfortable letting them come back in.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that has anything to do with what you're going through, Water Lily, but they just told me to say that. So, all right, Debbie, three shifting veils. With my cousin's health problems and my schedule, will we ever see each other again? So they're still showing me, like Liz, that there are no boundaries there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it might feel like a boundary there or something that is holding you back, but you can move past those. So we need to set up special boundaries for people sometimes, so that we can save our energy and to take care of ourselves. But but I don't think you need to in this situation, Debbie. Um, you're going to be fine. You guys are going to be fine together. Yeah, I get joy.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's something that brings you joy, you're going to find a way to put that in your schedule. And with everything in retrograde or Mercury in retrograde, we kind of went through that phase where we couldn't really get everything done.
Mm-hmm.
The car wouldn't work. Something always got in the way. We're going into a time shift now.
Well, are you done?
Yep.
Okay. What I saw is you it being with your cousin wasn't the highest priority, so some of your question is based on guilt.
Mhm.
You not let yourself off the hook, but you have the strength to deal with it. And this is, I see you moving across a troubling point and going, that's a bridge of despair, and getting to the next point. Just don't have any illusions or delusions about how easy or whatever's going on there. But this is, I do see the two of you. You have strong family ties. You have a lot of strong ties that you'll get together again.
Yeah, she says, we just found each other after 40 years. Yeah, it's kismet.
That's a
It is
story unto
kismet.
itself.
Yeah, that's funny because the second card that I pulled was inner knowing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, yeah, it's going to pick up right where it left off if it hasn't already, Debbie. So that's beautiful. All right. Um,
So, do you want to go on the topic or do you want to?
oh, yeah, let's do the topic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did my homework in the middle of all this other chaos. So, okay. All right. We were going to talk about creating healthy boundaries. What are healthy and unhealthy boundaries? And this is one of the thoughts that was on some information I was looking at for that. It said, for those who are angry when you set a boundary, are the ones you need to set the boundaries for. So if somebody gets really pissed because you say, no, we can't do it this way, I don't care if we always have or if it changed. There were a lot of how we dealt with people that shifted during COVID. And there was a period of time when everybody gathered kind of electronically close together. Well, then there became a time when you needed to branch out and you couldn't talk on the phone at 10 in the morning anymore because our lives had shifted to a much more normal schedule. This is a personal thing that happened to me. So, and I told this person, you can't call me every day at 10 in the morning. And they got, oh, you're getting so big on your channel, you don't have time for your real friends. And so we talked about it a little bit. And then we got another snipey thing trying to make me feel guilty because I was moving on. They were very comfortable hiding in their house. And I refused to play that game. And I finally said, I'll call you when I think it's safe. Unfortunately, they got very, very ill right after I didn't connect with them. When I finally called them again, I said, so you had to get into the ICU, huh? And she laughed. And we talked, yeah, she did. She almost died. Um, and I said, I realized that wasn't to get my attention, but I'm really sorry you went through that. And I know she wasn't alone because people were reporting into me. But they said she's really, really angry at you because you told her you wanted your time for you. And we will never be close friends again. But I know she's alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And um, and this has to do with energy vampires. And as a person who reads, and I'm sure there's not a reader in the chat or Teri who can relate to this, when someone says, oh, it's so easy for you because you're connected to spirit, I really want to climb through the tube and strangle them. It is not. It's another skill you have in your life, but it doesn't make it easier, and it doesn't make hard things that happen easier. Or even sometimes easy things happen easier. Sometimes we complicate them. But power vampires are people who you'll be going along fine, and then you'll get near them and you'll realize you're being drained. The first time I remember really feeling a power vampire was I had a woman, and she was a fascinating lady, and she had walked across the United States in 1976. She did a lot of really interesting things. I got to know her. She was fascinating. And one day I was sitting at a stoplight in Dallas, and straight to my left was the county hospital, and straight to my right was the county hospital. Straight to my left was where I needed to go. And I was at this thing, and all of a sudden I felt like something just sucking on my face. It was like, "Urgh." And I was like, what the hell? And so I turned and went to where I needed to go, but it just really troubled me. Like, what was around me that was like that? Well, it ends up that particular woman, had been admitted to the hospital, and she really was wondering why I went. This is before cell phones, thank God. And she couldn't find me, and she was trying to reach out to me to get me to come be the person interceded for her medically. Well, at the time, guys, I had 2 small children. I was their kind of sole breadwinner at that point. I had a lot of other things I needed to do, and while I cared for her and I thought she was fascinating, she had decided I really needed to come care for her. And that's the first time I used the Sword of Michael to cut someone's energy ties to me, which is a good way. If you think you're getting drained, you can you get in a quiet space and kind of, I'm not saying meditate into it, but just get quiet, and then you call in Archangel Michael and you tell him to cut the cords that are inappropriate, cut to the left, to the right, to the front, to the back, above and below. And just say it. And you can call in another archangel if you have one you like to heal with. I like to heal with Ariel. And the first time I did it, and I'd heard about this at psychic fairs for years, and I thought, oh yeah, that's cute. But that I felt things popping. I felt cords being cut, and I felt so light and so free when I got up, because I had not known how to control people who like to tie into energy. Some people just look at us as giant batteries, and you're going to make me feel better.
Yeah, they do. And I love that you said that about above and below. Because that was something I didn't really work with for a long time. I mean, I'd use the sword, but I wouldn't use the above and below.
You didn't do the whole body? You didn't turn yourself into a cube? If you think about it, there's not, and I've talked to Danny about this once, there's a lot of shamanistic things that are, about pulling energy in or letting energy go from all these points. And that's what I love about the fluorite crystal. It's a little octahedron,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a point that's to the right, to the left, to the back, to the front, and above and below. And it creates a perfect little octahedron for you to sit in and feel safe and have empowered yourself to be there. And you have to kind of be aware of what's going on inside you to get to the point of doing that. And you need to be mindful of your inner state when you're thinking about dealing about, because I know there's a period of time in my life when I would pull people in, and the more they wanted to be there, the happier I were to have them there. And until there was no exchange. There was just, me pulling in on them and them pulling in, and we're becoming, it's called codependence, I think.
Yeah.
And when you're interacting, if you can get so desperate to have people near you that you will, no matter how low their vibrations, you'll say, yeah, you can come here. I'll just find another low level one and we'll build like a battery pack. But
yeah. Diane says, thank you, ladies. This conversation is very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And Kimberly says, releasing people from our life is hard, even when we know we need to release them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so true.
It doesn't mean you stop caring about them. It doesn't mean, you can become aware of where they are. You just don't have to let them into where they make your life difficult.
Right. RB says, hi, this is super helpful. Could you possibly go through the entire thing?
Well, I am. The third point is take care of yourself. Once you've gotten to that point of detachment, you need to take care of yourself, and you don't need to be suckered back into falling back in. That's the hardest part, is to not, to self-nourish yourself, because you were attached to that person because they gave you something back, even if it was, sometimes people allow negativity into their life because that's all they've ever known. And it's hard. And then when you finally figured out, I'm going to nourish myself, I'm going to take care of myself, you need to make yourself accountable for how you use your own energy. If you cut off a negative person and then you immediately run down the street and find another one, that's probably not holding yourself accountable for what's good for your own spiritual growth. And it's not a judgment on them. I mean, they may be perfectly good in their environment that they're in. But the other thing is to try and surround yourself with positivity. And that can be difficult.
Yeah. And Ness brings up Nancy's conversation, reminding me of insight. A sign of childhood trauma is making a difficult person be good to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the worst thing that you can have as a child is neglect.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you have,
if you're getting hit, at least someone's acknowledging you.
Yeah. If they're giving you energy, even if it's negative energy, and abuse sometimes, but that was love. That's what you knew. So it is hard. It is a lesson to learn when that happens. I'm sorry. Did you have another point to make on that?
No, it's really the 4 points are: be mindful of your inner state and recognize the situation, then set boundaries and detach. And that can be really hard, but when you do it, you'll all of a sudden feel like a big sigh of relief inside yourself. The guy who wrote the poem that I've used for several different things, but he wrote a poem about how his head and his heart were having an argument. So his little soul didn't have anywhere to go in his body, because his head would tell him it was all your mother's fault, and the mother was the heart, and the heart would say he never loved us enough. And this poor little divorced kid is running around in the energy of this divorced child's running around the body, skittering up and down the spine. And finally, it goes into the pit of the stomach where it was to really sit and just go, ugh. And the stomach says, have you visited the lungs? Go visit the lungs. So he went up there and we got to the lungs, and the lungs said, just breathe. So
Wow.
I'll find the poem and I'll get it.
I love that. I
It's-
love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll post that on here. I've got a poem that popped out of my drawer today when I was looking for something. Our existence is never fixed or finished. No matter what we have been, we can make a choice now and become something quite different. We are condemned to be free. So, we always have that choice of freedom,
Mm-hmm.
but um, but we are in that circle of karma and just don't understand that we can just walk out of it.
That's right.
Yeah, it's just a construct. That's all. Dr. Gail's here. Hello, Dr. Gail, and Diana. Hello, Diana.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh my gosh, they're almost at 8,000 now. Okay,
Good.
we've got. Do you have time for one more?
Sure.
Okay, and then we have to run over to the other channel. Let's see. Got Chris. Singing Tree. Any messages from my guides, please, and thank you.
Okay. They've already told you need to be setting goals for yourself. You need to quit hanging around waiting for you know, for the go sign to show up after sitting at the stop sign. You need to be out with people more, and just to go out and be with them, not expecting any grand signs. It's not all going to come to you very quickly right now. And you're not in the position to really be meeting a lot of close people, but you need to be out learning about the other people because you've changed and people around you have changed. And you need to set this time aside to become comfortable with yourself.
Wow, I can take that. I love that. So Singing Tree, they came in with a song, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Summer Breeze makes me feel fine. Growing like the jasmine in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of feel like they want you to take some time and smell the roses,
Mm-hmm.
smell the jasmine. They want you to remember who you truly are. You're a
Mm-hmm.
child of the universe. Um, Negativity. If there's somebody in your background or somebody that has been negative, it's kind of like letting it go, just surrendering. Because it feels like you've got some sincere relationships coming up. And I don't know if this is something that you've been manifesting, Singing Tree, but something's coming in for you that's going to be that jasmine smell, which I love night blooming jasmine. Do you have jasmine in Texas,
Oh yeah.
Jean? Yeah.
Yeah,
We don't have it here.
we have Jasmine Crockett. Are you kidding?
Really? Oh,
She's
love
she's from South Dallas. I tell you what, Republicans are stupid if they take that woman on where she grew up, the political climate she grew up in. They take no prisoners down there. I ran elections down there. She's marvelous.
That's amazing. Well, that's great. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here again, Nancy Jean. Oh,
Yeah.
she says we were both spot on. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like we're all kind of going through that,
And well,
looking around at
everybody is.
stuff.
I don't know if you people know it, but on Fridays, Jeffrey and I, Jeffrey on his station, Ripe, on his channel, Ripe Color, and on mine, we post kind of weekly wanderings, and we throw crystals for the week, and we sort of see what the vibrations look like. The next 2 months are incredible. We couldn't figure out before Biden resigned. We do them a week ahead so we can get them all blah blah and put in the right slots, and so you can see them. And um, right as Biden resigned and Kamala came in, there'd been this real shift. There'd been this real kind of low grade, do what you need to do. You may have a few chances at stuff, but they were not happy readings. Man, today I've had so many happy readings, and let go of your previous thoughts and let go of the limitations and that were and this particular stone, the pyrite stone, when it lands in water, it means we're going into a shift into new long-term ways the world's going to work. Just long-term, get ready for it. And it, if that stone must have been in 6 of the 8 weeks that we read today, that it's time to understand new long-term patterns are being set in place. And if your energy's in the right space, then you can enjoy it. If your energy's not in the right space, you're going to be fighting it. But we had so many, his cards were so just exactly, he reads tarot, I read the garden. We were so spot on with each other. We're kind of going, this is weird. We had last fall, we had 4 weeks, and we were like, do we really want to put this on the channel? They were so bad. And he said, well, we're warning them, and they have a choice. Do you want to go deal with this general feeling of darkness, or are you going to kind of try to break through? So,
Yeah. 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 Sometimes it is hard. That comes in and it's like, you see it all going on and, you can have compassion for it and
mm-hmm.
think, oh, that's hard. What can I do to help? Or you can say, oh my gosh, that's the worst thing in the world. And kind of really take it into your heart, the negativity. But having that boundary that you were talking about makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm. And if you learn that you don't have to take whatever shows up on your doorstep, right?
Yeah.
You have a choice. No one can make you eat green beans if you don't like green beans. We find those sorts of boundaries easy to understand.
Yeah.
And it's the emotional ones, and it's when someone tugs at your heart and you say, "Oh, I've been in that position and I feel so awful."
Yeah. It makes a huge difference. So we're over the 8,000 mark now. That's
Yes.
great. All right, everybody. Well, be sure and go over that other channel, the Deborah
Mm-hmm.
Lupien, and and they have some good stuff over there right now. All right. Thank you so much, Nancy Jean. What you doing
Okay.
next?
What am I doing next tomorrow? I'm doing a show at 1. That's going to be open reading show, because they're kind of hard to live through at times, but they're really easy to run because you don't have to do a lot of preparation. I don't have to go around and find a lot of good statements and fun things to look at. And then Wednesday, I have a reading that I picked up from being on the what she called. She tried to call it the Psychathon, but that sounded like a movie you didn't want to see. Um,
Like Sharkathon?
yeah, and just try. It's we're going through some really intense energy, and I've been swimming around in intense energy for a long time, but even those of us who work with it all the time, we can feel it, and we have great sympathy for people who are feeling it. But you know pulling in negative energy, it'll do something to your positive energy, but it ain't good. And I'm sure every reader that worked the Psychics for Democracy felt it, because we felt like we've done our part. We've given our community a chance to be part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was wonderful. I'm so glad she did that, and I was so happy to be asked. All right, everybody. Well, thank you everybody for being here, and moderators, Ness, and everybody that was a mod
Mm-hmm.
today. Thank you for being here too, and come back and see us. We'll see you later.
Yep.
Bye bye.
Take care.